In this video, we're going to be doing something a bit different than normal. We're going to be looking at
Before that, obviously, we're going to get
of SVB reviewing my Reinhardt play on Busan. Just seeing what he says. Do we agree with him? Do we disagree on some points? And seeing what we can take away from the review.
to a VOD review first. So, yeah, how's everybody? Good. As you so hungry. I'm gonna say after I feel I did Overfest. Don't show. Watch VODs reviewed by. I don't think I'm doing. And they said, hey, well, I play Discord server and posted in the VOD request channel, which is where.
Basically, I was still on my journey to master with Reinhardt only, and I happened to come across SVB in one of my games. This was one game away from 3.5, so I was kind of playing a little bit more scared than I normally would, playing a bit nervous here. So I do make quite a few big mistakes because I'm just playing kind of nervously, and yeah. But overall, basically, my opinion is still that I don't think I'm to blame for the loss. Maybe you can say I made some mistakes here and there, but I think overall it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as SVB was saying, but he's entitled to his opinion. I respect his opinion. He's a good content creator, like on YouTube. He does make a lot of good videos, a lot of good debate videos. So definitely check him out if you get the time. But yeah, we're gonna head into the review.
Can go.
And at this point, I was around 3490 SR.
To have one of their VODs reviewed by another member of the Discord server, and they said, hey, well, I played this game with SVB, and SVB was mad at me. Did I throw this game for him? Now, I mean, I don't think I said he threw the game or anything like that.
And just to clarify at this point, he didn't say that I threw the game, but what he did say was, like, you know, he was making some kind of derogatory remarks, like Hulk is playing like he has the brain of the Hulk, which is a good roast. I have to give it to him. It's a good roast, a good line, but I don't think that's really fair. The way he was talking about me in his stream, so that's why I posted this into his Discord, because I really wanted him to review it and tell me what he actually thought, like. Kind of elaborate on his thoughts.
I remember, I haven't watched the VOD back, but I remember just being mildly upset at a few points, being like, oh, I'm not sure what my Ryan is doing. But I did have a little look. He posted his YouTube link. I don't know if Hulk is in chat right now or not, but Hulk posted their YouTube link and said, here's my POV. I had a chance to look over that POV one more time.
And I'll put my POV in the description if you want to check that out as well. Definitely, you can see that from your own perspective, give your own thoughts as well before you watch from SVB's thoughts. You can try and make an assessment for yourself.
And it was worse than I thought. So I will have to have a chat here with Hulk. Bretan, how you doing? And we're gonna talk about Reinhardt. So Hulk isn't here, but obviously we'll talk through some of the things. First thing, obviously. And I had a bit of a disagreement with Overheated about this, because Overheated seemed to think it was largely good Reinhardt play. But we have Ana Moira, we have Widow Farah. So for Reinhardt, first thing you notice this, there's no brawl here. You're not fighting anything in a brawl. Tundu, what up? 2 months. Thank you very much. You're not fighting anything. You said originally you played Moira because you thought the comp was deathmatch, we wouldn't have Mercy or BAP fitted better. I just wanted to play Moira because I'm sick and tired of people's shit. I'm about to nail some people. So now already the first thing, which you might say, I don't want to overly nitpick. I don't want to be too harsh on Hulk. Hulk was seemingly doing a challenge of Reinhardt OTPing to Masters. So, that's a brave person to try that. But already going down main is like, you're kind of asking for a bit of trouble. Nowadays, you kind of say, Reinhardt, you want to go this side where it's a little bit covered. Pushing out from this side is a lot more favorable because you're already narrowing the angles at which you can get crossfired. Maggie with the 3 months, thank you very much. You stand here, as we'll see in a second. There's a very good chance that people will start attacking you from different angles. And here we go. Here comes a Tracer from the left, Doomfist from the left, Reinhardt from the right. So threats all over the place already. Now, Hulk's position already.
So I think SVB has a good point here. Basically, he's saying that I should have gone left, the left route.
And here we go.
And yeah, I decided to go through the middle route. I don't think it's necessarily a mistake. Like, it's kind of a decision you can make on the fly. But yeah, going left, you have a bit more cover and stuff. But you can also go right. And at this point, I didn't realize, some of my team wasn't with me. My Reaper, I think they swapped to the Farah, but they weren't following. So they swapped to the Reaper later, but they were on Farah, and they kind of made us take a 5v6 because they were late coming out of spawn. And you can't really analyze a game without taking into account the decisions of your teammates and how that will affect everything. So that basically does affect everything. And the second point is, I don't think going down mid is necessarily a mistake. You can definitely go down mid. One thing you can do, and I looked at LH Cloudy's point of view. Will this come up? Okay, so this is LH Cloudy's point of view. He's playing on Busan, and you see he goes down mid here, and this is the position he takes. This is an interesting position, like right at the edge. So maybe this would have been a better position for me to go into. Although he also has the Lucio speed boost so that he can get there more quickly. But you see he plays extremely aggressively here, charging right into the backline. And it's really good to do that at the beginning of a game with Reinhardt, because you set the expectations of your team for the rest of the game. So they know that you're probably gonna do something crazy like that. And I'll also leave a link to this in the description as well. But going back to the
here comes a Tracer from the left, Doomfist from the left, Reinhardt from the right. So threats all over the place already. Now, Hulk's position already. What are you shielding, Hulk?
And he's right, I'm not shielding anything here. I'm basically just shielding myself, and that's kind of the mentality I've adopted, that I find is most works best for me, is just shield yourself, kind of be selfish with your shielding. You don't really want to try to always shield your team. It's mainly for yourself, protecting yourself, getting from one point to another. And that's kind of the way I think is the best. And also at this point, some of my team are still left behind.
Considering the back of your team is here, Hulk is shielding a totality of nothing. This,
you see the Reaper is still so far behind.
This ramen sign at the moment. So this is already, what is this position that we're holding for our team? It's a non-existent position, right? So already we're putting pressure on our team by not actually covering the angle. That's going to help them. So our Reaper, who's laid out of spawn, is not here.
And most of the blame in this situation falls onto the Reaper, as far as I'm concerned. Is him coming out from the spawn late. It's not really my fault. I can't do anything about that. I mean, I'm not going to blame him in the game or anything like that. People sometimes are either AFK or they decide to swap to a different hero. It's fine, but I don't think I can be blamed as much for losing this fight.
Our Widowmaker isn't properly covered, which she can't be, but still, the more pressure that angles that are allowed from here, the more that if the Reinhardt's here, cannot be shot at so easily, but from here now anyone can shoot if they want to. And of course now this Trace that you see has free reign to go wherever she wants, so she's picking her target. Now this is the snowball effect, right? When you're Reinhardt, basically you decide a lot of your team's position. What position does his team want to go to hold here versus on the left side where you want him to go? Again, basically by going left side, you clear your way to the point. Going middle, as you can already see, this has fucked everything up. Because now the Ana is having to shift to the right. Because the Reinhardt is on the right, she obviously realizes, well, I have nothing to fight from here. And even if the Reinhardt was, let's say, on this statue where he wanted to be, this sign where he wanted to be. Rapier Man, thank you very much for the bits as well. This is still going to happen. The Tracer and the Doomfist is still going to come around for free and start fucking this Reinhardt. Or start fucking this Ana. So she's already screwed. This is why, you know, Ana, again, this is why I didn't pick Ana on this map. Because, bam. She just gets one clipped, and now Hulk is going to be a little bit lonely. He's going to be like, where's my Ana? Why is my Ana dead? So the benefit of going this way is you clear this angle before you go any further. You come from here, Tracer fuck off, Doomfist fuck off. And now I push them from here. My sports have some cover. They have a health pack to play from as I push slowly.
So he's right. It does have its benefits going left as well. Going through that with the mega pack as well. You have that for the extra cover. But then you can also go through middle as well. It's not like a black and white. You have to do this every single game. Like you wanna, you can vary things from game to game. There's no kind of hard positioning that is always the correct position. As I just showed, LH Cloudy also would have gone mid, and he usually goes mid on this point as well. So it's not inherently bad.
Remember, the point doesn't unlock for a good 30 seconds after the round starts, right? So you have time to push your way through. An off-tank's job is generally good as well to do that, but you're running ball. The ball's off doing Narnia shit. So even generally, you don't want to rely, again, remember, this is solo queue comp. This is not Overwatch League. You're not going to rely on everyone to do their jobs.
And he's definitely right about that. You can't rely on anyone when you're playing solo. And this was a game I'm playing completely solo. I'm not grouped up with anyone, which is how I normally just play solo. Because, you know, I can't really be bothered to group up with someone else. But it would be better if I had grouped up with people I can trust and stuff like that. But he's right. You have to change your mentality to kind of more of a selfish and solo style of Reinhardt.
Properly clear the angle with your team, especially when you're playing Reinhardt these days. Just don't rely on anyone. Don't play main tank, shield tank man. Play off angle clearer man, as Cloudy would say it.
I think this is really important as well. Like the way you play Reinhardt has shifted over time. Especially because of the like shield nerfs and ultimate nerfs, and just the direction of the game is more shifting towards FPS rather than MOBA style. So it's definitely more effective to play him in a more of a DPS kind of like damage character way. I definitely recommend checking out the interview between SVB and LH Cloudy. It's really interesting. But if you're trying to play him as the front man all of the time, it's not always going to work really. So you kind of have to adapt.
He's an aggressive off-angling clearing DPS as Cloudy would say it.
So he's an aggressive off-angle clearing DPS. I think that's really important. Like just that was probably the main point I took away from the review, is just confirming that is so important. So if anyone's trying to like one trick Ryan, definitely take that on board and try and implement it. Like try and adapt to the new style. I mean, even I have trouble sometimes adapting to the different style, because it's just so different of a way how you would normally play. Sometimes I do fall back to playing more of a trying to front man and stuff. Trying to be like the front center of the team, but you can't always do that.
There's no speed here overheated, so how are you gonna brawl with this? How are you gonna 6-man with Widowmaker Ball? How are you gonna 6-man with Widowmaker Ball? There's no rush here. The Reinhardt cannot close his distance on anything. They're running a Lucio, so if you run at them, you're just gonna get kited forever and die slowly. So again, this is just a fundamental misunderstanding of Reinhardt, and in this comp in particular. And as you can see now Hulk is getting peppered by a Tracer in his back. The Doomfist slams him, then the Reinhardt comes at him. He gets probably what the best he can do at this point is to try a Hail Mary pin, but he dies mid-pin.
He's probably right. I should take into account the competition I'm playing, but I'm going to play Reinhardt either way because it's my best hero. I don't feel strong on any other hero, so it's my best chance of winning. I never would have swapped anyway, like to adapt to the comp, and yeah, it would have been better if I had Lucio for speed, but I don't always get the Lucio, and it still works a lot of the time, even without the Lucio. You don't have 100% need the Lucio, but it's good, because I could have gone, like with the LH Cloudy positioning, I could have taken the more aggressive approach, like going through like this, because he had the speed boost, right to the far end, and then getting there first is really important. So yeah, Lucio would have been helpful there. But I never ask anyone to swap. I never ask any teammate to.
Wouldn't it be better for the Ana to have a Brig instead? Not really, I don't think. Again, I'm not really convinced by...
Like, I never ask anyone, or I mean, I never force anyone to swap. Like, if they want to swap, it's fine. But I never start blaming them if someone doesn't want to swap. Because it's 100% their choice. It's the choice of the player.
The pocket the Ana in this comp. So again, just the pathing completely fucks us. There's no chance for us to win this fight. I don't know why Ana immediately woke her sleeping target. But yeah. Again, if you charge, even if you run at their Rein Zarya, you're gonna lose, right? Because they have Rein Zarya, you have Ball. So here, you need to basically, the key we're gonna get to in a second, you need to take and hold space as best you can, and you need to clear angles. That's the best you can do. You're not gonna run at everything. You're not gonna be able to run at anything. You're not gonna be able to like do whatever the hell was attempted there. So that's the first thing. Now, point flips over, so we're just gonna have to wait now. So this is fine. See, once the point flips, you can come from main, because now that isn't their immediate threat of people flanking you from that side. So now, if Hulk wanted to go from main, it's not so bad. But again, it depends on everyone's position, it depends on context. I think what we're gonna see here is the coast side. Okay, so the Tracer, this is where I remember, yeah, the Tracer is effing up our Doomfist. But again, Hulk needs to not get baited. Hulk, again, don't approach Reinhardt these days, unless you're like in a perfectly coordinated team. Don't approach him as like, I'm shield tank, main man, come everyone 6-man behind me. That's hard to pull off in solo queue, really hard to pull off, even with the best comms, and Hulk wasn't in comms at all, nor was I, but as I found later watching Hulk's YouTube, Hulk wasn't in comms as well. So
and just to clarify, I never join voice chat because I find it to be a distraction. I always play better without joining the voice chat. And a lot of people, criticize me, saying, you need to be in voice if you play main tank. But then that's not really how you play Reinhardt these days, anyway. So you don't need to be in voice to climb. Like, that's just nonsense. You can definitely climb without voice chat. For a lot of people, it's going to be beneficial if you leave voice because you get distracted so much. And also, the thing with voice chat is, like, when you're still figuring out mechanics and things, you're trying to get everything optimal, you want to have 100% of your focus dedicated to playing the game. And that's another reason I one trick is, everything will be on autopilot that way. Like, you don't need to think about which keys you're pressing, what you're doing. It's all on autopilot because you're one tricking a hero. And staying out of voice chat can also help with you kind of just autopilot. I mean, then you have your 100% of your focus on the game. And a lot of the time people do not listen to you anyway, so don't expect anyone to listen to you, like your calls. And that's fine. No one should 100% trust you anyway, because you're playing at the same, same as them, same level, so there's no reason for them to trust you over anyone else. So that's another reason I don't join voice chat. But if you're playing with trusted friends, then it's quite different. Like, if you're playing with a coordinated group, then definitely join voice. But otherwise, I don't really recommend joining voice. I would recommend just leaving voice. And you also avoid a lot of negativity, a lot of discouragement. And you make every decision is your own decision. Like, it's not influenced by anything else. And then also you free up your hands as well. Like, if you have a mouse that you can bind something voice chat to, then it's good. Then it might be good, like because you can still free up your left hand to use all of the movement controls and the abilities and things. But if you don't have a mouse like that, then you have to bind it to something on the keyboard, and then you really want to use you don't want to use push to talk, because that will also mean you have to keep pressing the button. You basically just want to use press to unmute or press to mute, and that should help, because then you don't have to keep your finger pressing the button. Although it does potentially introduce background noise as well. But if you're on Discord, then you should probably just leave it on voice activation, like automatic activation. But yeah, in general, everyone should try playing without voice chat, see if it helps them, because it definitely helped me a lot. Like, I got to 3.5 on multiple times with no voice chat after I disabled voice chat, and it really helps.
There's no way you're coordinating a 6-man push outside of voice comms. So again, don't fuss about, oh, I need to be where everyone else is, I need to like 6-man with them. Just get the angle. See, the hog is actually causing a bit of a nuisance here. As you can see, the hog is pulling people. This, ironically, is tanking, in a way. This is how hog can tank, right? He's pulled the Reinhardt towards him. He's causing a threat. He's doing a lot of damage as well. He's making space for this Widowmaker to take an aggressive angle. The Lucio's on our Widowmaker as well. But again, this is decent. Meanwhile...
And it's true, I went through this coast side because I thought, maybe it would be a bit less expected, kind of more surprising if we all go through the right. So that's one of the reasons I went through the right side. You never want to be predictable, like you always want to try and be a bit unpredictable.
We're gonna get fucked coast side, basically.
But it's true, there are some threats that can like potentially get me off.
So again, with Reinhardt, this side is just bad. This side is just bad, not only because they have a Lucio, Doom, and a Reinhardt to fuck you in here, but just generally, it's very choked up, it's very narrow, you kind of get caught. There's two places you get caught, right? You get caught here, where they can choke you up, and then you get caught here. His whole team is coast, where should he go? Well, quite clearly his whole team is not coast, considering 3 people are there, and it's basically just me and the Doomfist in here, which I went to heal the Doomfist, and
although I did see the Lucio initially went here, and I saw the Moira went here as well, so I basically thought the whole team was going here. So I kind of just followed them. Initially my plan was to go main. Then I saw my team was going this way, so I did kind of get baited into going this way.
I'm fine with that. Flank a little bit. Again, this is not 6-man together. This is not 6-man everybody go together. This is split up, look for an angle. See, the Lucio's over here, Widow's over here. So it's a half and half. And again, if you're half and half going this side, you're just going to get fucked. As we see here, Doomfist punches our Doomfist.
So, like one point I really took away from SVB, not from SVB, from LH Cloudy is that you always want to commit to a direction, like a specific route, and then just clear the route. Like, you can, if the enemy team is split up half and half, you can just go one side and just clear that side. Like, you don't have to worry about the other side.
Gets a good.
So that's probably another reason I was thinking, it's a good plan to go this way.
Punch in. Now we have to stand here for a little bit because we're under so much pressure. Now the Reinhardt's going to come here in a sec. Again, our hog is doing actually a lot of nuisance work, right?
I'm just checking everything is working here. Seems alright. But yeah, our Roadhog is doing.
He's causing a lot of pressure. He forces an immortality. And now, this is the threat, right? Lucio comes in, he tries to boop. He almost boops the Doomfist off. If this was any other character, he dies. I think he goes through the thing. That's incredible. Did the Doomfist go, like, through the... Yeah, he sort of semi goes through it. Okay, and then, now here's the problem. This is what I mean about choking yourself up. So Hulk goes for a Hail Mary pin. Right, Hulk thinks, I'll make a play here. Hulk gets fucked.
Probably true that I shouldn't have gone for the pin, but you know, it wasn't inherently a bad decision, and not inherently a bad charge, because it was a short distance, and it was also like it wasn't charging towards the enemy team, really. It was a short distance to within a wall. It could have been possible that I could have got someone here, but then I just didn't expect them to move so fast. But I should have probably been expecting them, you know, with the speed boost that they could have got out so quickly.
Mary pin.
I didn't really see that coming. But even if I don't get anyone here, like, you still get the boop, so you kind of knock them away, and you get the 50 damage. So sometimes it's worthwhile to go for a pin, even if you don't get the even if you don't attach anyone with a pin.
Right, Hulk thinks, I'll make a play here. Hulk gets fucked, gets kited.
Good reaction time from the enemy team, though, to back out from that.
Pinned, dead. So again, you're just choking yourself up. You're making it very easy for their Reinhardt to exploit you. He just takes one step back, dodges the pin, gets fucked.
Another thing to remember when it comes to going for pins is the less distance you have between you and the person you're trying to pin is the less reaction time they have to react as well. So it's not only that the wall has to be within a short distance, it's also if the enemy team is within a short distance of you, then that increases your chances of landing the pin as well, because of the reaction time.
Meanwhile, Hulk actually got 2 kills. So again, going coast side, just problematic for Reinhardt. Again, we need to let go the break LD, let go the mentality that everyone's going to 6-man behind the Reinhardt. It's not going to happen. This is why nobody plays Reinhardt anymore, because
I mean, he's right. You can't really expect a 6-man, everyone 6-man behind you, but I don't really take that mentality into ladder. Like, I know that's already true, so I agree with SVB here, but I wasn't really using that mindset. I don't have that mindset. It can work though. Like, the 6-man with like, people do play Reinhardt even in contenders. They play a lot of Reinhardt in contenders, but then they're also playing more of a team style. But he can also work on ladder as well. People still play him on ladder, like Cloudy and Shock and other streamers. You definitely still see a lot of Reinhardt. It's not that I don't think any character right now is really a bad pick necessarily. It's just you want to adapt your playstyle.
It's not going to happen. It's not really even that good when you do it. It's very easily exploitable, very easily exploited on this map in particular. And yes, as Speedy's saying, it's already resources. We're already down resources. We're already under a lot of pressure. Going for this pin, not going to help out. Okay, in that time, we have actually managed to stabilize on point without our Reinhardt, I might add. So we're going to cap point. Okay, so now the sort of usual jostling goes to play. We go for a bit of an ambitious shatter, which is fine. This is a nice pin. But again, we're just kind of giving this up now. You don't need to just give this up for free, right?
I kind of disagree with SVB here, because they have the bubble, the Zarya bubble. There's not much I can do to really stand my ground. I agree in general with him, though, that I should be holding my ground more often. But the reason I back up here is to kind of kite the Ryan, and it ends up working here, because I get the pin onto him. And the reason I can land this pin is because I go from a short distance as well. So he has less reaction time as well. I don't think kiting him was the wrong choice necessarily here. And a lot of people in SVB's chat agreed that it wasn't necessarily a bad play. Like some people actually wrote to me to tell me, you know, they don't think I made that many bad decisions.
We're here, there's a fight going on, we're not paying any attention.
I mean, it's true, I'm not paying attention to the fight that's going on behind me, but I need to focus on what's going in front of me, so I can't really divert my attention here.
The slam goes straight into the bubble. Nice pin, but again, we've pushed ourselves into an awkward spot. Well, it isn't really an unlucky block, because at Master now, the Zaryas are going to be... they're going to be holding their bubbles, so you can't really shatter. You cannot shatter until you've seen the Zarya use both her bubbles.
Probably right about that. I should have probably waited out the bubble. But then I'm not really expecting to hit a lot of people. Even if I just get one person with the shatter, it still can be valuable.
So you've seen one bubble. Actually, it's accidental, but still, you don't want to shatter until you've seen her. You cannot shatter until you've seen the Zarya use both her bubbles. So you've seen one bubble.
Okay, I think I did actually shatter before the bubble, but yeah. She manages to react in time.
Actually, it's accidental, but still, you don't want to shatter until you've seen her. So good job on that one from Hulk. Again, we're just running away at the first sign of anything, right? There's a Moira right behind him. The team's set up to try and fight this angle, but we're just running away at the first sign of anything. And where are we running to? Narnia, right? Running to Narnia, then we have to pin ourselves out. And then after pinning ourselves out and getting a beat, we come back and face tank the Amp Matrix, right?
I mean, I don't think it's fair to say I was face tanking the Matrix here, because I was taking the cover behind the wall, so not really a fair judgment.
So here we go, we're going to keep peeking this Amp Matrix. Whereas really, this is the play, and the rest of the team has recognized this. So
but another thing to bear in mind is that I'm throwing away a lot of the aggro as well, like of the team. It's good that we have them split up in this kind of division of attention, that the Reinhardt is trying to focus me, and in the meanwhile he's letting his team kind of get destroyed by chasing me, so it ends up working here. And that's something I don't think I played this necessarily badly.
So this is the play basically. Go in behind. Don't always have to go in from the front. They put Amp Matrix on that side. Let's go this side. Right, so Hog goes in, he recognizes what to do.
Although even if you go from this side, they could still just shoot from the other side of the Matrix, so yeah. You don't necessarily always want to go from behind. It's not always going to work, but it can, if you have the element of surprise, yeah, it can definitely work.
Takes down the Zarya in a second. Doom meanwhile is doing his thing. Widow has her angle for free. Presumably, where is she at the moment? Okay, she's actually down main at the moment, but she's getting her job done. Where's Hog? Again, this is the play now. Don't always have to approach from the front. We can go from the back too. So again, just a sort of, it's a collective mentality shift that a lot of us need to make. Stop treating this as like front line. I must always go from the main angle. I must always go down main. I must always fight in front of everything. It's not how it is.
And he's right about that, for sure. I can't really disagree with him on that. You don't always want to go through the main route, or like always be at the front.
Okay, now here we're calling. They're in a relative choke. We got speed boost. Hulk is just shield up, running away.
Probably true that I should have played a bit more aggro here.
Watching his team get slammed.
I'm trying to play super safe because I'm one game away from 3.5, so I'm kind of playing a bit scared here. But yeah, I could have probably gone in with the coalescence as well.
Watching as everyone dies. Again, hold space, right? This is a theme now. We're hold space. We see them rotating that side. We have to be ready to choke them up in there.
Agreed with that. I should probably be holding the space here.
Right? Our Hog is in. Our Lucio is in. We're the furthest back. Our Doomfist is in their backline killing their BAP. We might actually do it. He forces the immo. And we're the furthest back.
Although, you need to, bear in mind, SVB has the benefit of hindsight here, so he can see, I'm not paying as much attention to what's going on behind me, so I'm kind of being distracted here. But in that situation, yeah, it's definitely, looking back in hindsight, I could have done this differently. But you can basically say that for any situation.
So, just
because I'm kind of expecting the Rhine to have shatter here, so I'm playing a bit more safe than normal.
Fighting nothing, running away. Hold space. Hold space for your team. Hold an angle for your team.
No one can hide from my sight.
Would the call because of quick Q to push it and hold? Yeah, I mean, if your team, look at the position, right? There's so many indicators. Look at the position of your team. You have to play according to everyone else is playing. Right, here's the Doomfist set up here. So where's the Doomfist set up to play? Here, right? He's looking for this slam here or here. You know they're not coming there, that means they're playing here. Where's your Hog playing? Here. We watch our, see again, I don't know what we're looking at, but here's our Lucio right next to us. Right? We watch our...
I was just in that, when I flicked to the right, I was just checking if they were going from the right.
See again, I don't know what we're looking at, but here's...
But obviously they're coming from the left. I don't actually use headphones, so I don't have always have the best positional sound, so I can't always tell. And the reason I can't use headphones is because I have some kind of problems with my hearing. So if I use headphones, it kind of aggravates the problem. So I only use my laptop speakers. But it's true that I could have been more aware of them coming from the left.
Our Lucio right next to us, right? A coalescence in front of us with a healing orb in front of us. And what are we doing? We're standing with shield up. Even if nothing else going on, we're coalescing and we're standing with shield up. Right?
I think I was just trying to bait the Rhine to shatter, because I was expecting that at the time.
We're just standing there waiting. Meanwhile, the Doomfist has gone and killed the BAP. Hog is hooked the Zarya. So there's so much going on while we're just running, and then we don't even counterpin, right?
Probably a bad fire strike from me. I should have not done that in the open like that. So that, because that kind of gets me killed, gets me charged, because I don't have access to my counter charge when I'm stuck in the animation.
Because we're fire striking. So we're not holding the spots that we need to hold. You don't have to hold your shield up the entire time overheated. I don't know if you know how Reinhardt works, but you can actually put your shield up and then put it down, and then put it up when they're shattering, and then put it down.
Kind of patronizing from SVB here. I don't think he needs to be patronizing just because someone is disagreeing. Like, there was this guy on the chat who was disagreeing with him.
It's miraculous what you can do.
But he does have a point. Like, yeah, I should have played more aggro there.
You don't actually have to stand there with shield up AFK, even if they have shatter. You can actually block it. Now again here, we're up 3. We got a healing orb behind us, but we're just shield up, holding a nothing angle. Like super, just letting them walk on us all the time.
I can't really agree with him on this point. Like, I don't think I did anything that bad there. Maybe I could have shielded less, for sure. But yeah, I need to play a bit safe. Because this is like a 3.5 game. My next game would have been 3.5, so I was playing a bit more safe than I normally would. But yeah, maybe I could have not shielded as much.
We'll clean. I think this fight goes way longer than needed to. It just it's like really messy. And this is just where Reinhardt gets effed, basically. Messy fights, people all around him. So I don't blame Hulk there for losing a bit of track of everything. We're going to come back, I think. We're going to just basically eventually win this fight. Nice pin there. Gets a good kill on the Doomfist. Okay, so we win the first round. That's good start. Now here, we've got McCree, Doomfist, Hog, Moira, Lucio. So this one we can be more aggressive. This map is good for aggression as well. Right, so we block a nice hook. Now unfortunately our McCree dies. But now here's where we're going to get messy again. So here, this is the difference between holding space. You have to this is where Reinhardt's tricky, right? Reinhardt's tricky because what you have to do changes at the different moments all the time. I mean, that's true for most heroes in Overwatch, but definitely true for Reinhardt and main tanks. You get punished very quickly. So our Kree is dead. Our little bit of the mid-fight damage is gone, and we're walking into a Kree, right? We get flat. This is just the classic cardinal sin of Reinhardt. Never walk at a Kree like this unless you know the flashbang is out or you have bubble or DM or something. We don't. We have a Roadhog.
Probably true, but then I know that the fight is probably lost, so I'm just doing anything. I'm playing super aggro here because I need to do something. Otherwise we lose the fight anyway, so I'm just walking forward because we've lost one. Yeah, but I should bear that in mind, not to go in like towards the McCree. I think I didn't actually know they have a McCree at this point.
This is just the classic, definitely true for Reinhardt and main. You have to right, so we block a nice hook. Now unfortunately our McCree dies, but now here's where we're going to get messy again. So here, this is the difference between holding space. You have to this is where Reinhardt's tricky, right? Reinhardt's tricky because what you have to do changes at the different moments all the time. I mean, that's true for most heroes in Overwatch. Right, we get flat. This is just the classic cardinal sin of Reinhardt. You get punished very quickly. So our Kree is dead. Our little bit of the mid-fight damage is gone, and we're walking into a Kree, right? We get flat. This is just the classic cardinal sin of Reinhardt. Never walk at a Kree like this unless you know the flashbang is out or you have bubble or DM or something. We don't. We have a Roadhog.
It's gonna be good to take the flash from the McCree, so then your Doomfist can go like super aggro on the enemy team when the McCree has already used flashbang. If you're Reinhardt, then yeah. So not always a bad play, but maybe in this case I didn't realize the McCree was in that position. So yeah, I should have been more aware of that.
You're just asking me a flashbang, Mc right clicked, and we're dead basically. One flashbang and we're dead. And that is how it is.
Ideally, you wanna try and bait the McCree flashbang you through the shield. Like you wanna try and shield block it if you can. It doesn't always work though.
So that's again the cardinal sin of Reinhardt. Do not walk at a Kree like that. Okay, we come back, get a nice kill on our on this Genji. Again, what is this angle we're holding, right? We got to think about what angles we're holding.
I think I kind of get baited by the Lucio here. Our Lucio.
Like that. Okay, we come
I
back.
Might have landed a pin.
Get a nice kill on our on this Genji. Again, what is this angle we're holding, right? We got to think about what angles we're holding.
Maybe not actually. Probably not. So yeah, that was kind of a misplay on my part. Like I should have been aware. Like because I used my pin already, so I can't really counter pin.
Again,
That's something.
Before that, obviously, we're gonna get to a VOD review first. When you do it, it's very easy.
I'm not sure why I pushed some kind of
or what?
something accidentally.
But this.
Here we are. Yeah, when you're in the Rhine with the Rhine, it's always, if you see the enemy Rhine use their charge, then you always have a free charge on them.
It's fine. I mean, okay, Hulk is an aggressive Reinhardt.
I mean that they can't counter charge. So always go for the charge in that case if you can.
Again, it's fine. I mean, okay, Hulk is an aggressive Reinhardt. Hulk likes to pin, go for plays.
He's right about that, for sure. Like, going for plays, going for the charges is probably one of the most fun parts about playing Reinhardt. So even if it's not optimal, like, it's always the most fun. Like, you want to have fun while you're playing, right? So for me, that's probably the most fun way to play him. Like, there's a massive risk to reward, but if you get the reward, it's really satisfying to land the charge. So for me personally, that's the way to play him. Like, if I find myself getting bored, then I end up just playing a lot worse. So I have to do things that are kind of make me wake up, like going for some kind of risk, going for some kind of fun play. Like, some people would call it trolling, but I don't see it as necessarily trolling. It's more being unpredictable, going for pins wherever you see the opportunity. Even if you die, it's still kind of can be a good to get you into the right mindset, get your team into the right mindset as well.
But that's what happens.
You always want to have your pin on, like at a moment's notice. You want to be able to pin at any moment in the game. And the way you put yourself into that mindset is to always pin any opportunity you get. Is to basically go for the pin, even if it's risky.
If you pin and you miss, he gets a free counter pin and kills you.
I mean, SVB would probably disagree with me on that, but yeah, that's just how I play Reinhardt. It's the way I find him the most fun to play him.
Now they're gonna be mop up here. Doomfist cleans up, we come back.
I am ready to unleash no one.
Okay, once again we're calling. We're just shielding up. Okay, we push up. Nice. Now we hold the angle, right? Hold the angle. Hold the angle. This is kind of hilarious. I remember this at the time. This is a little bit unlucky. I think Hulk was within their rights to think that they get this pin.
I think, yeah. I wasn't even expecting to attach the Genji. Like, it does happen sometimes, but it's not like, a lot of the time you attach the Genji because Reinhardt has like quite a massive hitbox for his pin. And then sometimes it doesn't work because you just get RNG'd. So yeah, but I might have been able to crash him into the wall on the right side. I'm not sure if I had enough time. Like, I didn't even realize I had the Genji pinned at that time. Otherwise, I could have just turned to the right and killed him.
But they don't. Hulk, this is actually kind of hilarious. We watched the Genji's POV. I think it'll be even more hilarious. I think he chases after the Rhine with his dash. And he died. So you actually see the Genji completely dodges this and dashes into it. So that's kind of hilarious. But again, this is another example of just hold the angle, right? We don't need to chase. We've got a Coalescence on our back. These two guys are split. If we just pressure this angle, we're almost at a slam as well. So if we just pressure this angle, there's no reason we don't win. Again, just let the Genji go. Let him go. If he comes for you, that's fine. That's good. If he goes for your backline, there's no point actually pinning. This is basically a Hail Mary pin, right? It's like 1 in a million shot that we pin.
I wouldn't say it's one in a million. Like, it can happen a lot of the time. Surprising amount of the time you can land the pin on someone. Like Genji going for your backline or whatever. It does happen a lot of the time.
He dashes to kill us, we accidentally get the pin. We're not able to hit him to a wall.
But yeah, maybe he has a point. I could have held my ground there, because I was close to shatter.
Unlucky.
But I think we end up winning the fight anyway.
No, it is not correct. Do not pin at your Mora if you see a Dragon Blade in Genji. Do not pin at your Mora.
Not necessarily true. Like, it can work for sure.
Your Mora has a fade. She will be fine. Do not pin at your supports, because you're gonna let them all come in for free. Let this go. If he kills one or two, you can't change it unless, again, it's a 1 in a million. 1 in a million to get this pin. This happens like if you see a nano monkey go for your backline. Do not go pinning after him.
I mean, I'm not 100% sure that's right. Like, even if you don't manage to kill them, if you land the pin, you can draw out the amount of time that they are pinned, so that they don't have time to make use of their nano, and that can be. You get value from doing that. Like, I did get value from pinning the Genji here, because I wasted his amount of time that he had in his ultimate and in his nano. I don't know if it's inherently a bad play all of the time. Maybe it is.
Do not go pinning after him, because all these guys walk in for free. Hold the line. Hold the line. Hold the pressure here. Make it hard for these guys.
But you can see my Lucio is slapped here as well. And like, the rest of the team is kind of behind. So I'm kind of... I feel like I need to go back.
Got a slam coming up. Hold the line. As you see, actually, the team was largely fine.
And they were fine because I took away a lot of the Genji's time here. Like, I did get value here. I took away a lot of his time in their nano form, ultimate form.
And it's only Hulk who dies. See, the team was fine, right? Despite all that, the team was fine. Because they just played around the angles, they just played for the flanks, they played for the deathmatch. And they won it out as a consequence. Okay, now Hulk is back. Okay, so beat v beat. Again, what are we holding? Big slam. Absolutely fat, monstrous slam. And Hulk is within his rights to try and pin this here. Hulk is within his rights to try and pin this here. This counter slam, our bad. Like, the team's bad. This was our bad for getting counter slammed here. I think Hulk is within his rights to pin here. And I remember even on stream I was like, I shouldn't have gotten slammed there. So Hulk, big plays here. Big play.
I might have been like been able to crouch here for more damage on the Reinhardt. But I was kind of already going from a low angle from the stairs, so I didn't crouch here. But maybe I could have hit more. I could have hit the Reinhardt if I did crouch.
Place. But again, don't swing at the Reinhardt. Go at the people who are low. Go at the squishies who you can continue to swing at and kill. Right? There's a Doomfist with you. Just go at these guys.
I don't know if I necessarily should have gone after them, because you see they're up in the air. They're kind of far away from me. Whereas I know the Reinhardt is. I know where the Reinhardt is. He's like within swinging range. Whereas if I pursue these guys, I potentially let my team die. So I decide to go on the Reinhardt. I don't think it's inherently a bad play again here.
Continue to kill these guys. Don't go turning, chasing after the Reinhardt. Help your Doomfist kill these guys. If we're here, we kill both. Fight is won.
Maybe.
So, big plays, but again, the mentality needs to shift. We're not just about frontlining, we're not just about fighting the Reinhardt. When we get the chance, basically hold an angle, and when we get the chance, we find isolated targets and we go for them. Okay.
So here I'm thinking, just go left side. I think I was using my bind to say group up with me. So yeah, I'm just thinking to go left side. Because you always kind of get spammed here, there's no point in going through that way.
Okay, so rotating.
I mean, I expect my team to be here with me, right? So, according to SVB, it's kind of my fault, but I don't really agree.
This is good. Now again, have we shielded anyone through? No, we're just running.
I mean, yeah, I could have shielded them, but they should have been with me. I don't think I needed to shield them here to get through this point. They should be able to cross. And the mentality you want to adopt with Reinhardt is, remember, your shield is always for yourself, first and foremost. You don't want to prioritize your team. Don't worry too much about your team. And this is what SVB was saying himself as well in the first round. You know, I shouldn't worry too much about the team. But yeah, it's kind of, I don't think I can be blamed too much for not shielding them here.
Shield us through the area, right? We're rotating, shield. This is good.
And no one is with me as well, so I would need to wait. It's not my fault they don't quickly go with me.
Now again, have we shielded anyone through? No, we're just running. At least shield us through the area, right? We're rotating, shield us through. Okay. Now. This is basically, again, this is what is a Hail Mary pin. And this is actually a fight losing win. Oh, fight losing pin. This is a fight losing pin. Because we're going to see what happens here.
Could have been fight losing, could have been fight winning. Because if the Reinhardt had continued to go in that direction, maybe I could have hit the pin. And I know that I'm not going to die here because I will slide along the wall. So I don't know if I could be blamed for this again. And I'm also distracting them as well, distracting the whole team by doing this. So even if you don't land the pin, you want to go for the distraction play as well. Like, try and get the enemy to focus on you, waste their pins and things like that. So I kind of disagree with SVB here.
Hulk is now split up. The space is gone. Doomfist comes on the back.
I'm just kind of making the enemy team split their forces as well. Split their attention.
Backline.
And kind of mess up their positioning as well.
Assassinates our Lucio basically in a second. Hulk has run away. And
I mean, there's nothing I can do.
The space is gone. Doomfist comes on the backline.
The fight is already lost, right? So I'm kind of running away here.
Now.
I see that multiple members.
This is basically, again, this is what is a Hail Mary pin. And this is actually a fight losing win. Oh, fight losing pin. This is a fight losing pin. Because we're going to see what happens here. Hulk is now split up. The space is gone. Doomfist comes on the backline.
I mean, my team didn't have to follow me there. If they wanted to, they could have. Half of them could have gone to the right if they wanted to. So, not necessarily my fault either.
Assassinates our Lucio basically in a second. Hulk has run away. And again, I think this is what Hulk... Doomfist comes on the backline. Assassinates our Lucio basically in a second. Hulk has run away.
So that's why I'm...
And again, I think this is what Hulk was saying when Hulk was like, SVB says... SVB said, I'm throwing. Where is Hulk going? What is Hulk fighting? Full HP, full shield, hiding in the room.
The team's dead, nothing I can do here.
Literally hiding.
I mean, if I had gone in here, I would just feed, probably. Maybe I could have gotten more out charge. But yeah, I'm just thinking half of the team is dead, so I would probably feed more if I go in here. I mean, feeding, it's always a value you want to make the assessment, you know. Can you get more alt charge for yourself if you're close to alt? Or are you just going to feed?
Right, what are you fighting, Hulk? You got to pick, what am I fighting, right? You got to figure that out in your mind. What am I fighting? Hulk is fighting nothing. And then, here we go again, right? Just got to stop Hulk.
And here I see that the team is dead, so I'm just going to retreat anyway and distract them as well.
You don't need to pin as often as you're trying. I think people think that.
And just to clarify, I'm not always going for the pin to try and kill someone. I'm also trying to reposition myself, trying to distract the enemy team as well. Like, I think charge is probably one of the most misunderstood abilities of Reinhardt, but it's also one of the most useful. And it can have multiple uses, like not only just trying to kill the enemy team, but also trying to distract them, get yourself back into a safe position. Like when I get this pin here, I'm just trying to get away from the enemy team.
Hulk is fighting nothing.
And maybe bait them into a bad position as well.
And then here we go again, right? Just gotta stop Hulk. You don't need to pin as often as you're trying. I think people think that that's the way to make plays with Reinhardt. You don't have to always be pinning to be making plays. Okay, so again, our Hulk gets a big hook. We get a nice block, coalescing. Let's put go again, right? Just gotta stop Hulk.
So you see here, I do kind of split the enemy team up a bit. It's like divert their focus.
You don't need to pin as often as you're trying. I think people think that that's the way to make plays with Reinhardt. You don't have to always be pinning.
And that kind of opens up a bit of space as well for us to move forward.
To be making plays. Okay, so again, our Hulk gets a big hook.
Nice hook by our Hulk though.
We get a nice block, coalescing. Let's push. Why are we shield up? Right? Why are we just standing here shield up? We block.
I think I was trying to block the enemy Ryan shot.
Slam, let's go. Right, there's a Doomfist hitting our backline. We're standing shield up. Swing at the Doomfist. Swing at the Doomfist. Swing at something. Go at something. Slam.
Probably true. I should have been swinging more here.
This guy I would have done, but okay, Hulk kills him. And again, what are we fighting? We're running on the point. There's a whole fight going on here. There's an Ana there. There's some.
Probably true that I could have gone onto the Ana here. It's always good to you don't want to rush the point, getting the point. Like you want to finish the team fight. So yeah, I kind of agree with SVB. I could have gone for the Ana here.
Shit going on here that the Doomfist has killed the other Doomfist. We're gonna drop the point. Get flanked.
I could have probably shattered the monkey here, but I wanted to save. I was thinking, he can just leap away at any time, so it's possible I don't land the shatter. So I was thinking, I should try and delete the bubble first, and then go for a shatter.
Again, what are we fighting? What are we shielding? What are we fighting? What are we shielding?
I'm just looking for the shatter here.
We're shielding this angle.
And when I'm shielding, I'm not always trying to shield my team. I'm also trying to get a better view of the battlefield. Like when you shield, you have a higher FOV as well, so you have more awareness of what's going on around you, and you're also more safe while doing it. So you have like that time where you can assess things safely, and you have a better view of the field.
What is this angle that we're fighting?
I think SVB is kind of being a bit too going too over the top, like with criticizing my play here. I don't think it's I need to be doing anything necessarily. I'm just looking for the shatter.
What do you think he should do there? He should go fight the Ana. He should just walk at the Ana slowly, take her out, because she's trying to heal her Doomfist. Walk at her. What's she gonna do when we got a 1600 HP shield?
Probably true.
I would have just slammed this guy instantly, by the way, but Hog gets him. Again, like, what is this, right? This is again the main tank.
I think I was anti here, yeah. So yeah,
the main tank, outdated mentality. We're not stopping the Doomfist killing anything. We're not stopping Yana. Walk at her, then she can't heal. Then she can't heal this Doomfist. She has to run down, but instead we just drop the point again. The point will come if you win the fight. Don't rush the point. The point will come.
I agree with that.
Walk at the Ana. Kill the Ana. Instead, we get kited by the Lucio. Now we force everyone else to come save us, right? Because we're getting screwed by the Ana Lucio. Okay, beat is in play. Let's get out of here. Let's go Let's go at the people who aren't immediately being beaten. And at least hold an angle. Stop this Rhine from walking in for free. Stop this Ana for healing for free. We're fighting a Winston bubble. Right? Is what we're fighting. Now we get a nice slam off.
This was really not the best charge, I'll admit that. But also I was thinking, you know, a lot of, it's so RNG like with the slam. I mean with the pin. Sometimes you attach them, sometimes you do not attach them. Maybe I was kind of panicking a bit because it's my 3.5 game, so I'm making a lot of like big mistakes like that. But also, I think you need to charge from the right side to get the 100% guarantee pin. I'm not sure about that, but like a lot of the time when they're pinned, something changes about the hitbox to make it really difficult to pin them. I don't know why that is, but yeah, I was trying to pin the Reinhardt off the edge of the map here.
The Winston bubble, right, is what we're fighting. Now we get a nice slam off. Now, Overheated says, these are perfectly good pins.
I mean, it could have worked. I could have got the Reinhardt off the edge.
We're fighting a Winston bubble.
Just missed here.
Right, is what we're fighting. Now we get a nice slam off.
It's really difficult to judge when they're pinned, like when they're shattered, and you try and pin them. It happened so many times that I just missed them.
Now, Overheated says, these are perfectly good pins. Now, I'll leave it up to you. And you decide.
Could have been better, I admit that.
Yes, it is fine. Winston... Oh. Disappointing.
I didn't see that coming. I have to admit that. 5 strike.
Okay, so the round goes. I mean, that round is over. So, okay. No, I'm not trying to be too harsh, but I'm with Big Bomb on this one. Okay, so we get the join me, but again now, so one thing I sympathize with Hulk is
this round was kind of a mess. I don't think I can be blamed for what happened in this round. Like I was trying my best, but I think the team has a lot of accountability as well here. Like they were also just dying, staggering one by one, and not doing very much. Like SVB was saying, you know, what are you doing? What is the rest of my team doing? What is SVB doing here? He has to bring value as well to the team. So even if he's on mercy, you know, I'm sure he could have been doing more as well. Like all of us, every member of the team could have been doing more. But I don't think I played bad relative to my normal play standard. Like this was kind of unlucky, this map.
Is that the compositions have been changing a lot, so you have to adapt your playstyle a lot, right? And that means that you have to be constantly thinking, okay, this is what I have, this is how I can play. In the previous round, we were running Moira and Lucio, so there was a bit more of a rush brawl potential. Now we're running Echo, Soldier, Mercy, Ana, so you're not going to get the same brawl potential. So he's going to have to bear that in mind here. So now we get unfortunately naded. But again, this is fine, right? Hold the angle. We're here. We've managed to work our way here. Hold the angle. But unfortunately, Hulk is getting baited by the sleeping Lucio and thinks I want to push it. Right? I think you're going to see this instinct again. Hulk is like desperate to keep pushing it. And because you push forwards, you end up losing a bit of HP, which causes you to go further back. And again, Hulk is going to get baited here. Steps out too far and then has to step back. So it's this constant cycle of just getting baited over and over. And now, Hulk has not realized that no one's with him anymore.
I don't think that's my fault that no one is with me. Like, why is my team not helping here? I think we could have won the fight if we'd all just pushed them here.
And that, again... See, some people will be like, that's a good pin, he got the Winston. Where's he pinning to?
For this pin, I was just trying to pin for ultimate charge. There's no other reason, really. I wasn't expecting to get the kill or anything. I mean, we've already lost the fight, right? I'm thinking here that we've already lost the fight, so I just might as well get my my ult.
Should you just AFK the choke? Yeah, sometimes. That's literally how you got to play Reinhardt. Sometimes you just got to AFK the choke.
I don't know if I agree with that, but SVB is entitled to that opinion. I don't know about AFKing. You always want to be doing something.
And also, hold the left side where you're going to go. Right? You're going to go... So you're going to go this way, right? You know this. You know your team is going to go this way. You know your team wants to go this way, because that's where the point is, right? So, when you're backing back towards the shield, the side your team is going, towards the point side. But we
Maybe true.
end up backing to the other side, and now we're completely split from our team, right? Because when the hog decides, so this is the key moment. When the hog decides he's going to go left, and again, I think the hog is recognized. There's 5 people here. How are we going to kill any of these guys? The Sigma, who we did hook, is getting perma healed by Diana. He's positive naded as well. How are we going to kill this guy? We're never going to kill this guy. Not with one Reinhardt, one Reiny boy. Never going to kill this guy. So just take the space. You won the space. This is where it is. This is where it's at. And that's what the hog realizes. He's like, oh shit, the Winston's capping for free. And then when he fucks off, we just get screwed. And again, here, you see this much pressure? Just run. It's fine. Just run away. So Hulk actually gets out. And again, this is where you have to be the courage to resist the temptation to pin him and just continue to run away. Continue.
I mean, if I had run away here, I would have gone to the left. So I'm thinking, you know, I might as well just get the ult charge off anyway. Because the amount of time, if I had pinned to the left and run away there, then it would have been the same amount of time, similar amount of time for me to get back to the fight anyway. So I might as well
need to run left. Instead, Hulk pins into everyone. Deleted. As I explained, Habu, the composition has changed. The composition has changed. Unfortunately, if I could tell you the principle for when you should do one thing and when you should do the different thing, I would be playing for you. There's no perfect solution to be like, oh, when this, it's not a formula, it's not a flow chart. It's not like, when this is in play, do this. When this is in play. When you're playing Overwatch, you have to look for visual indicators of what you should and shouldn't do. What's their HP pool? Who's behind me? What's my team comp? Are they purple? Are they not purple? Is that guy stunned? Has he got his stun? Has he used his cooldowns? What's my shield HP? What's my HP? These are the things that are going to tell you whether to go in or not. And I'm trying to explain these things. But it's not a blanket rule. It's not like, go aggressive and then go aggressive forever. Or stay passive and then stay passive forever.
It's probably right that it's something I kind of struggle with Reinhardt, is knowing when to go aggressive, when to go passive. And maybe I need to realize what, like how to respond to the visuals and what my team is doing as well. But yeah, that's probably the most hard part of Reinhardt, is knowing when to play passively, when to play aggressively. But it probably just comes with experience, playing a lot of time.
There's times when you hold the choke, and now you've got more resources, you go. There's times when you don't hold the choke and you let it go because you don't have resources, and then when you have resources, you go. It's changing all the time. So again, this kind of encapsulates what I mean. We pin out a spawn, and then there's a fight 2 meters ahead of us. And we're just shielding up behind our hall.
And yeah, I'm thinking, you know, it's 5v6, kind of lost anyway. The soldiers will be able to get back to the fight quite quickly. So probably not the play to push them here. That was probably my thought process in this point. We lost 2 actually. We lost 2 of them.
At least step in front and help our hog.
I don't think there was much I could do to help him really. But now I see he's pushing left side, so that's good. He's kind of getting their attention. So maybe I can push here.
Okay.
And because I'm playing on laptop speakers, I'm not sure where the sound is coming from. Like, I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, I'm kind of a bit confused here.
Now again, I'm just kind of confused what we're fighting here. Like, what was that? Like, they hear the high noon and they turn. The soldier's already shielded up, right? So we're missing the opportunity. Instead of holding on to that, the high noon behind us, go main. Go fight some shit.
And here I was thinking, you know, I'm not sure if I should shatter. When you're playing against Winston, he can just leap away at any moment. So yeah, I might have been able to shatter more early here. Might have saved on, like, held on to it for too long. But yeah, I was thinking it's kind of hard to hit anyone here. And he's obviously getting pushed back by the Roadhog. The whole halt. I mean the whole hog.
And we're chasing this Winston, and we're letting him in. This is again letting them in, right? We've just got, like, we've gone further back for anything than the whole hogging hog or the whole hogging Winston.
Yeah, I probably should have shattered this actually.
Chasing the Winston, we're gonna pin all the way back to spawn.
But now I see that we're losing teammates, so I'm not sure if I should push this.
Yes, leave the Winston. He's getting whole hogged. Slam the Winston or leave the Winston. Don't chase the Winston. He's getting whole hogged back. Okay, he's dead. He's done for. He's not doing anything. Let's push these guys. Look at this juicy slam right here. We step forwards.
Probably true. I could have gone forward here.
We slam these guys. We're happy. And then the Ana's not healing this Winston who's getting fucked otherwise. Then she gets to almost sleep the hog.
I think, yeah, SVB is right. I was playing a bit too passively here, for sure.
And again, what are we shielding? What are we shielding? An Ana not getting shot at by anything.
I'm always kind of hyper aware of the Ana, enemy Ana, trying to sleep me, because that's like the worst thing ever, is when you get slept.
And we pin, again, the Hail Mary pin, the obsession.
I wouldn't really say it's a Hail Mary pin, I was just trying to get back to my team, like, back away from the fight.
With the
I wasn't trying to pin anyone.
Nano boosted target. Win the Shadow Beat back when he has beat. If your Shadow forces out beat, all good. Again here, if the Winston wasn't being whole hogged and you knew he didn't have bubble, you can just slam his ass. Once the beat comes out, obviously no. But again, we're chasing after Winston. Again, we're running away, watching our Ana get shot. Again, just don't bother. So the Winston didn't do anything, right? He just tried to juggle around. But if you run away for the Winston, now this McCree's free firing.
I'm also kind of aware that Winston might be able to punch me off the edge. I'm kind of a bit cautious of that.
Everyone, look, plink, plink, plink. Oh, he gets a kill. Oh, he rolls forward. Plink, plink. Now he's gonna go at my echo. Plink, plink. Plink, plink. So again, resist the temptation to chase after the most big thing that you can spot. Ignore that guy. Okay, he's going in my backline. Okay, what I'm gonna do is make sure that no one else gets into my backline. He's getting juggled because he pinned backwards. I'm shocked some of you guys can't see this. The Winston ignores him, as it rightly should, because he has no interest in fighting a Reinhardt. If he just steps forward here, The McCree now cannot fuck everyone.
That was kind of bad. I think at this point I'm just kind of demoralized and losing focus. So I'm thinking, nothing's happening. It was bad shatter. I don't think I even saw the shield come up. Like, I was completely defocused. So yeah, probably not the best play from me here. Like, I'd already thought to shatter before the shield had already come out. I was already in the process of doing it before I even registered that there was a shield. And here I'm just thinking, the last chance. There's nothing else I can do really.
Again, so this is, I think, a thing that people who don't play Reinhardt anymore, they think this is like how you play it. Right? I don't even, you know what, I'm not even gonna comment on the slam. The slam ain't even important. Hulk won't make that slam again. Or maybe occasionally Hulk will make that incorrect slam. Doesn't matter. Sometimes Hulk will get it, sometimes Hulk won't get it. The bigger problem is this misunderstanding. Just because you connect with the pin does not make it a good pin. This is not a good pin because there's an Ana staring in your face. You're 300 HP. The Sigma has full HP. He's just eaten a bunch of crap.
Probably true. Not the best pin, but I'm kind of panicking here. Game is about to finish, and I think, nothing else I can do.
He's positive naded. Even if you land this pin, he's gonna live. Instead, you get slept, naded, probably next time, and just deleted. But again, what do I know? Again, if you wanna head down to the overheated school of Reinhardt, I can't tell you what's right or wrong. But unfortunately, if I'm being brutally honest, what up, Pumpy? If I'm being brutally honest, I don't know if Hulk did anything apart from that one slam of note. Like, what was being done?
Although here, he's right, maybe I didn't get that much done, but then what was he doing here? What value was he bringing to the team? Like, you have to ask yourself, you can't really just pin the blame on one player. I don't think I was to blame. I think the whole team was lacking as well.
You prevent tricklings, Ryan? Don't trickle yourself.
I don't think I was trickling here. Like, I was definitely waiting for my team.
Like, he can't do anything about anyone else trickling, but he's trickling half the time himself.
Not true, not true. I don't think I was trickling half the time. Maybe in this final pin here. Most of the time I was trying to go with my, wait for my team to respawn. Like, when I saw they were dying. I wouldn't say it was half the time that I was trickling.
It's not like he's sitting there perfectly grouped up.
I mean, I was more of, I was playing more in sync most of the time of the round.
And like what is this? It's not like he's like, I'm sitting here perfectly grouped up and my team is trickling all the time. Just don't trickle yourself. This has nothing to do with the team trickling. Everything that's being done here has nothing to do with the team trickling.
Probably true though, yeah.
So there you have it, guys. The big takeaway is you have to basically adapt your Reinhardt gameplay according to the situation, to the comp. This is why Reinhardt is so tough. This is why I don't play a lifelong Reinhardt main. This is why I do not play Reinhardt anymore, because he's just so easily exploitable, and to make him work, you need basically perfect team coordination, everybody on the same page, fighting the same target, right? That is, and on King of the Hill, doubly so. On a different game mode, you can control the angles where stuff is being fought a lot easier. You can kind of hold set chokes that you know fights are going to take place. King of the Hill, fights take anywhere. Fights take place anywhere, right? And that means that you can get caught out very, very quickly, very, very easily as Reinhardt. So you have to basically play perfectly. You have to play perfectly. And The caveat to that is you have to stop trying to think of Reinhardt as like 6-man frontline spear dude, especially when there are comps like this, as we saw in the first round and in this round, where you're running like Widowmaker, Doomfist, Hog. These guys are not going to go in the same targets as you. They're not going to be there behind you. They're not going to be using your shield half the time. So you need to learn to fight the off angles, control space, and play accordingly. Like, it's not just about always running at stuff or always standing there with your shield up. Hold a space, find a target you can go at, and then go at that target.
It's true that I should be probably holding space more of the time. It's a good thing that I can take away from this review is holding space as well.
Avoid the temptation to fight the main tank at all times, and especially when they're running like a Rein Zarya, you're just going to lose that. Avoid the temptation of always fighting their Reinhardt. Try and find isolated people you could fight. Try and find squishies you can fight. And go from there. And stop pinning so much. Like, that's just a general Reinhardt thing. Stop pinning so much.
Not sure if I would agree with that. There's so many situations where pin is really useful. Like, really good tool. I'll probably make a video like explaining more of the uses of charging, because it's quite kind of misunderstood ability. But yeah, he's definitely entitled to his opinion. I'm not sure if I would agree with that completely. And it's also one of the most fun ways to play Reinhardt is to go for like a more charge heavy playstyle.
Like, if you pin all the time, it's like pin is like 99% going to land you in trouble. Because it's very, very difficult, especially in a 6v6, right? It's going to be very, very difficult. Because if 6 people are looking at you, there's like 8 CCs ready to be hit on your face, right? So the best times to pin are when there's only a few people around, or when the fight is broken down, or when you're backed into a very particular corner, right? Pinning to start the fight is almost always a bad idea. Because if they're not morons, they're going to do something about it. At worst, the Reinhardt should counterpin it. Or at best, let's say, the Reinhardt will counterpin it and you're both down. At worst, you get hit with every CC in the game.
Probably true. Like, it's good advice. Maybe save the charge for those situations. Rather, don't open with a pin, for sure. Maybe, but there are also situations where you do want to open with a charge. I'll try and explain more of that in another video. Like, more of what I've found personally works for me with the pinning.
So avoid pinning as much as you can, really. Most of the time you're
I don't think you should try to be avoiding using your charge. Like, it's one of Reinhardt's abilities. You may as well use it. If you're gonna use the hero to the max potential, like, you want to use the pin. It's not an easy ability to use for sure, and it can land you into a lot of trouble. But it can also give you so much reward. Like, if you get into the mindset of using it whenever, like on the fly, whenever, use any opportunity you can. It's just a lot more fun to play him in that way.
Going to cost your team the fight. It's like this: if you pin and you miss, you lose your team the fight. Probably, you definitely die. You lose your team the fight. You pin,
and like, just going back to the way LH Cloudy uses Reinhardt. It's really interesting how he uses the pin as well. Like, people are going to say, you know, you can't just copy how LH Cloudy does things, but there's a reason he's being able to do those pins. It's because he's put himself into the mindset that he's already practiced these things so many times. So the only way you can learn is by practicing, really, by doing the pin as many times as you can. What you see here is LH Cloudy goes for the main route, goes right to the far end, and then eventually he pins the Ana. This is super risky, but it works because it's just so. I mean, it doesn't work, but it's the only thing he can do in this situation. It's go for the pin, and he gets the Ana. I'm not sure if he wins the fight from this, but yeah. Yeah, they actually win the fight, so it does work. But yeah, he's not opening with a pin. He's doing that once the rest of the team is kind of distracted a bit. And you'll see this happen in the next round as well. I'm going to try and skip ahead to the next round, just to show what he does there. So this is really interesting. He gets the TP out from spawn, and then he charges right to the end of the map, like all the way to the enemy spawn. I've never seen this done before. Like, it's so interesting. And he also has the Lucio speed boost. So if you have these things, you can try this for sure. Like, he's going all the way around from the back. It's kind of crazy positioning, but it works. And you see why he's pinning all over the place like this is also to create confusion for the enemy team. So is another use of the pin, is just to create so much confusion. Maybe it doesn't work here. Maybe it does. Yeah, I think it works. To get the point, yeah. So worth checking out LH Cloudy, just to see how he uses the charge.
When you connect, you maybe kill that Reinhardt, maybe, because there's like other things that bail him out. There's a bubble that bails him out. It doesn't even do full HP damage, so if immediate healing after the back of that, he lives. Immortality, he lives.
And yeah, a lot of it is just down to chance and down to RNG and luck. But you want to take the chance, like you want to take any opportunity you can. A lot of the time it won't work, and a lot of the time it will work. And you'll find that it starts working more often, because you're doing it so often. You're in the right mindset to be doing that.
Right, so there's a lot of ways he lives through the pin. There's very few ways you live through the pin. So just pinning in general, not a good idea.
Disagree.
So that's how it is. How would someone like Cloudy play this? Well, he'd just ask Cloudy, but he'd be flanking a lot more, and he'd ask his Lucio to just two-man with him.
It's true. If I did have a Lucio, there's so much more opportunity to play. But even when he doesn't have the Lucio, he still does something quite similar. Although it's more safe, like more kind of a safe style of play.
I'm not going to go too more deep into it. But just because Cloudy pins does not mean your pins are now acceptable, right?
It's true, it doesn't mean that, but why, you have to ask yourself, why does LH Cloudy have so much success with this playstyle? It's because he's practiced it so much. So it's kind of inbuilt to go for the pin. It's kind of instinctive. And you want to get to that point is where you're not even thinking about it. Like, you're just pinning any opportunity you find. It's always good to pin.
People say this all the time where they're like, well, XYZ does this. Yeah, but they're that player and they know their limits.
But this is true as well. Like, every player has their own individual style that is optimal for them. So you don't just want to emulate everything another player does. You have your own optimal playstyle that works best for you as well. And my playstyle is probably quite unique from other Reinhardt playstyles, but I find that it works for me overall pretty well. I mean, it didn't work in this game, but also I'm kind of playing not as good as I usually would, kind of playing a bit scared because it's my promotion game. So yeah, it's not going to work every game, but you want to have your own optimal style that works for you.
They know their limits.
And the reason they know their limits is because they push their limits every opportunity. Is you want to push the boundaries of what you can do by putting yourself into risky situations. So even if you die from having a charge heavy playstyle, you still learn from the situation. Maybe you learn not to do it next time in that situation. But the only way you can find that out is by trying in the first place, trial and error.
Understand your limits. Anyways, that is what it is.
So that's the end of the review. I think it was interesting.
remember a while ago I played into Plat Master Tank. Master being a GM I know on a Hog Alt and a Plat Ryan. The game was so free, the amount of pins I slept that game.
I kind of agree with this guy, Zed Momel. You shouldn't really speak down to someone who is, you know, in the same level as you. But then, I mean, I take every criticism SVB makes as well. He's got experience with Reinhardt, so I'm sure he does understand as well. And yeah, I don't agree with everything that SVB says, but he does have a lot of good points as well. So form your own opinion. Don't just go with what SVB says. Like, watch the video from my POV as well. I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can watch the video from my POV. You can make your own assessment. Did I do this wrong? Did I do this right? I'd be really interested to hear from anyone, you know, especially if they're a Reinhardt player, if they're a GM Reinhardt player. I'd be interested to hear from you. Leave a comment in the comment section as well.
Yeah. Unfortunately, his Reinhardt's very easy to throw. Very easy to throw. But that is how it is. That's why I don't play Reinhardt anymore, because it's just very, very unrewarding these days.
And this Tebu guy is right, but the reason Cloudy knows what he can get away with is because he's got so much experience. The only way you can learn that is by continually doing it again and again, learning, trial and error. And just getting into the mindset of pinning regardless. It's just being in that mindset of playing a risky style.
Very tough to get the balance right. So unfortunately it is what it is. I got really dejected yesterday, nearly uninstalled, nearly quit Overwatch, but reinstalled like an hour later. Damn. The toxic relationship with Overwatch. Well, Pumpy, if you're not enjoying it, don't play it. What up, Freddy? Wanted to play as a normal support and be a good teammate, but doing so I can't climb back to Diamond, so now I just went 80% DPS Mora, 20% healing Mora. Suddenly we turned the game around. I don't know what I was supposed to do to get back to Diamond anymore.
Review, probably.
I mean, again, it's about understanding your limits.
This is a good question. What's one big key takeaway do you think you can learn from this?
Okay.
See what he says.
So,
understand limits.
Now, sure. I'm going to contact Yoshi, because we want to be able to do our...
but I hope you find that interesting.
Stuff. Apology if I went a bit hard on you, but...
And this is me saying, you know, the reason I pin it, I really enjoy that playstyle.
It hurts. It hurts to see my man Reinhardt in this position. So, unfortunately, it is what it is. It is what it is. You're a braver man than I to continue to one-trick Reinhardt in this time. Yeah, I mainly wanted to shit on Overheated. So it was kind of indirectly targeted you, so I apologize for that, Hulk.
I mean, I don't think SVB has to apologize for anything. He can be as harsh as he wants, you know. If you're doing a review of someone, it's fine. You can be critical or you can be harsh, it doesn't matter. Although I don't agree with everything he said, but it's not like I'm going to be upset by him being critical. It's fine.
Mainly Overheated that needs a humbling. Right, Overfest time. Yoshi.
So I hope you found that interesting. Check out the links in the description as well. I'm going to leave a link to my POV as well. It's the first time I'm trying something like this, like a review of someone's review of me and my reaction. Maybe it's interesting. Yeah, stay tuned.